Hey guys, good morning. William V. Thompson of Bridging the Gap. As you can see, I'm here all by myself on today. My man, Council, I guess he's become famous now that he doesn't have time for us. No, I'm teasing about that though. A shout out to Council Glenn. They had him featured in a local newspaper article recently, and the title was From Condemned to Gem. And what they were saying was they showed the picture of the house that he bought with a tree in the middle of it. That's right, guys. He had the audacity to buy a house with a tree in the middle. It was condemned. He worked around it. He ran the numbers and it went for a gem because he got paid for that. See, that's the power of understanding that money is nothing but an idea. Again, guys, today is going to be podcast number 36 here. And I want you to understand that I'm going to share with you today a little old school methodology, but some things old school are just still relevant today as they were a year ago, 5 years ago, or 10 years ago. What I'm going to share today, please write this down. 60% of people who are millionaires, this is how they became millionaires. I'm going to say it again. 60% of the people who now are millionaires, I get it right, they now became millionaires this way. Now, I'll be the first to admit, in podcast number 32, and they're back, we were talking about building an online business. And I'm convinced that over time, building an online business or the new marketplace is going to reduce these numbers. It's been strong at 60%. And I believe that it will always be at least 1/3 of people will build their wealth this way. And I want to challenge you, no matter how you plan on building wealth, use this old school way. And here it is, matching the match. All that's saying is I want you to max your 401k plan. When you take a job, remember we've told you before, never take a job just for what you can earn. Take it for what you can learn, because what you learn will impact what you earn. And one of the things you want to learn is you want to learn about the retirement plan. And I know, guys, many of you all will retire in 5 years or 10 years. That's okay, but this money is going to keep growing. Find out about your company. Sometimes it's called a 401k. Sometimes it's a 457. Sometimes it's a 401 Roth account. It doesn't matter. What you want to understand is, what type of retirement do I have? Though you don't plan on retiring at the job, it's okay. I get that. I didn't back in my day. Not sure where the idea came from, but I knew that I would not be at one job all my life. But here's the point. Let's say your company allows you to put in 10%, tax deferred. The company matches that. That's what I mean about max the match. That's free money from your employer. That's right. That is free money. Sure, you're making $70,000, $80,000, maybe $100,000. But understand, if your company is matching 10% in my example, that's another $10,000 that they are giving you, all because you were disciplined to save. You're $1,000 a month, they give $1,000 a month. You're $5 a month, they give $5 a month. Folks, take that money. But here's the other part. See, the great thing about this concept is that you're able to save it before you see it. Come on, simple principle. Save it before you see it, and it forces you to automate wealth building. See, all of your wealth building needs to be automated. Whether there's an online business, you need to be automating the marketing, automated member subscription, automated follow-up. And this is an old school way of building wealth, but it's an automated way. And even for those that are self-employed, you may not have a company. You may not have a company that has a 401k, but guess what? You can incorporate. You can set up your own 401k. I have one through a company called T.E.D Ameritrade. And the great thing about your 401k, folks, is that you can determine what the match is. You can determine the investment vehicles. So whether you're working for someone or for yourself, always find a company like a T.E.D Ameritrade. There are no costs, free of charge, that you can do this. The third thing is there's a concept called dollar cost averaging. See, like for example, the market's pretty high now. Like for example, Apple's at about $149 a share, and the S&P 500 is over 400, and Tesla's about 1,056. It was down today about 50 some odd dollars. The point is, you may buy those at that price. If it continues to go up, guess what? You continue to buy. Let's say you buy Apple at 149 today, and next month you buy Apple at 151, and next month you buy it at 153, and next month, let's say it goes down to 149, you're still buying it. That's what's called dollar cost averaging. Don't try to time the market. Find great investments to invest in, and long term, you're going to win. And here's a quick sidebar. Let's say you only stay on that job 3 years or 5 years. All you're simply going to do is to roll that 401k money into your own IRA account and keep the process going. And oh, by the way, all that money that you put in is tax deferred. What do you mean? As a retired CPA, we're always telling people, one, to create tax-free money, as well as even to defer it. That money that you're putting in there, you're not paying taxes on it, nor what your employer matched. So whether you have an independent employer because you're working for someone, or you work for yourself and you've set it up the same way. And here's my closing thought. We want you to have multiple ways that you build wealth. And I believe that maxing the match through a 401k plan is one of several ways to do it. Again, like I said at the very beginning, 60% of millionaires do it through their 401k. I believe with the advent of online and technology, that number will come down. But even if it comes down to 1/3, still you need to be in that 1/3 there, as well as online businesses, as well as the crypto, as well as real estate, and so many things. So let me give you a good example. Let's say, for an example, that you are putting in the max of $500 a month. It's automated. You save it before you see it. It's not part of your regular budget. Let's say your company does 100% match. Well, your company puts in what? 500. So now the company's put in 5. You've put in 5. That's $1,000 a month you've put in. Now, in 20 years, and I know sometimes you can't think, 20 years ago for me was like, it's not going to happen, but it did. And it's a good thing. But let's assume 20 years down the road. Didn't say you were working with the company 20 years, but let's say you contributed $1,000 a month to it. In 20 years, you would have put in $240,000, okay? But let's say your company, whether it be the one you work for or the one you created and you still work for, you would have matched it $240,000. Well, guess what, guys? Between the $240 you put in, the $240 the company put in, at 10%, that money would have grown to close to $1 million. You heard me correctly. You would have only put in, let's say, 25% of that. But the power of compounding. And we're going to talk next week in podcast 37 on exactly what to invest in to get about 10%. I was with a client on yesterday and was sharing this with them. And what we're going to share next week in our podcast, this investment has gotten 10.4% since 1993. If you go back and do the records, a lot of negative things have happened since 93, but over 10%. And join us next week. Well, hey guys, William V. Thompson, miss my buddy Council Glenn. I guess he's out celebrating that newspaper article going from condemned to gem. But again, please subscribe, like, and share, and get the word out. Old school, new school, and we simply call it Bridging the Gap. Good day and God bless you.